Hi, Shell.
And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos watching.
So, if anything I can take from my last ranking video is that this might not go up when I want it to go up. But because I'm still ill, I've got to allow myself that bit of time extra. It's fine. But also, this could be twice as long because there's like double the amount of stories that I would talk about. So my rule for this one is I'm going to give a little discussion of the bottom three and then shimmy through the list up until the top three, where I'll give the same discussion again. Maybe I'll include a line or two for occasional story here and there, but I kind of don't. I want to give my editing self a bit of time to not be like, you know, I'm always a fan of being kinder to future me, especially editing me, who's got to whittle things down a bit. Especially if I'm still ill, the amount of coughing I've got to edit out can be overwhelming. So, finally ranking Stephen King's Night Shift short story collection. This was what kicked off my short story Saturday, and I think I can say it kind of helped boost my channel from like what 4 or 5 subscribers to a handful more, and it's just like steadily grown from there. And honestly, I think it is just because of the popularity of Stephen King. But yeah, it's also kind of started my weekly uploads because it was easy to quickly read a short story and talk about it every week, and it just became something reliable for me to do. And yeah, so I do owe Night Shift quite a bit, actually. So yeah. But without any delay, let's start with the rankings of all 20 of these stories. Starting at the bottom. Number 20. The Lawnmower Man. I could, yeah, this story was so weird and bad, and it's just like a service where your lawnmower man, basically a cutting grass service, just to keep your lawn like nice and neat and tidy, but the lawnmower has a life of its own, and the guy who's operating it is eating the grass behind it. I don't want to go. I didn't think there could be. I mean, yeah, creative, but yikes. Yikes. Also, the idea of him trying to explain to the police what he's just witnessed is hilarious. Still no. Still no. Okay, so number 19. We have Night Surf. Bunch of really bad people doing really bad things, gloating that they've set somebody alight, and the guy we are following is I do not like being in somebody's head like that. No. Ew. Oh god. The protagonist was horrific, very fatphobic, and yikes. I really hated Night Surf. It's not a great story. And it's a very short one as well, so they're just hanging about doing bad things, and it's not pleasant to be in their heads. Not a great story to follow. Pick somebody else, please, to be in the mind of, because I am not following any of them. No. So, moving on to 18. We have Graveyard Shift. This one just felt Like there was like one thing said about it, and that was exploitation of work. Just exploiting your workers and telling them, and just like having a bad boss. But other than that, the rodents seemed just a bit overly gross, and I didn't really see the point in the how it ended either. It just didn't. I don't know. It just felt like a story with no purpose in a way. It just felt like an exploration. Like at the beginning, it kind of set up something really intriguing. Like the rats were watching a protagonist kick a can, which built a bit more expectation, and then that expectation kind of felt a bit squandered. I wasn't too happy with the direction, unfortunately, so oh well. Okay, that was the bottom three. I'm going to try and quick fire through, and if I do have something to talk about, I'll quickly give a line. But number 17, we have The Woman in the Room, which is the bummer ending. I got to this collection, unfortunately. It's just, unfortunately, it's this low down because I did not need to be depressed at this time of year. I'm sorry. No. Number 16, Children of the Corn. This is low down because I had such expectations for it, because it just, everybody knows Children of the Corn. One way or another. I had high expectations, and I didn't really like the people we were following again. They were really annoying. They were so annoying. Oh my god. Anyways, number 15, The Last Rung on the Ladder. This one was just a sad one, but I'm kind of feeling indifferent on that one. Number 14 is The Boogeyman. Boogeyman? Boogeyman. I don't know. If it's got double O in, I'm going to go boo. Anyways, so this is just because I highly disagree with the protagonist's choice to decide to hand over his favorite child, because oh my god, he didn't care for his children until he got his third child. I think it was his third, but the last child he had with his wife was his favorite, and obviously I'm gonna have issues with somebody who's like that. So yeah, and even then he handed it over to the monster. 13, Strawberry Spring. It's a good atmospheric story. I just didn't care for it. Unfortunately, it was a bit predictable, but atmospheric, fine, but 12, I Know What You Need. I I kind of realised I grouped the college-esque stories together. Yeah, this one is better than Strawberry Spring because I liked the catharticness of even just somebody who recognizes somebody, like the nice guy syndrome, and escaping it before it becomes a problem. 11, Trucks. This one I actually did enjoy. It was at the end, I mean, through the beginning, I have no knowledge of what cars are, so like it would reference what a car, like by their brand and or something like that, like a Chevy. I don't know what a Chevy is. I don't care about that, so it is a bit far down. But at the end of it, it kind of had this really interesting ending where it gave me more questions, like the potential for what stories could follow this. And then there's like the questions of what would this look like if it was told these days? Like petrol is becoming obsolete, so, and green energy is coming in. Like, would there be a different sentience type? Would the petrol be the ones that are killing, and the green energy cars trying to get? I don't know. My brain has kind of just taken over. This is why it's so high up the list. Like, even if it's still pretty low down. I have so much questions for this. Potential. My brain is buzzing with it. But yeah. Anyways, number 10. Sometimes they come back. Again, this is very close to the other two college-esque type stories. But I did enjoy this story. This was a really good story. So basically, it's just a teacher who's facing some ghosts from his past. Like, quite literally, in a way. Like, he got attacked on the way home from the library, I think, with his brother. And his brother died to this group of lads. And he got away. And they never found them again. They never caught the people that did it. And so he knew who did it. Then their names were familiar to him. But they came back. He's a teacher. And they came back and are students in the school. They are problematic students. They are problematic students. And wow. It's a really cool story. And I did enjoy it. It was really cool. Number 9 is grey matter. Surprisingly, it's so high because it is so gross. But oh my god, how eerie that was and atmospheric that was. Yeah, that was very an effective story, even though it's so gross. Number 8. Quitters Inc. Damn it, Cindy. This was a very good way of getting drawn into a cult. Like, this guy, I can't remember his name, but the protagonist just wants to quit smoking, and he's been given a business card from somebody who he knew, and it's just like, oh yeah, they changed my life. And they have one interesting way of making people quit smoking. It is also very horrifying. Like, they will put a bunny in a room and electrocute it. The first time. The second time, they will put your significant other in that room and she'll get a zap. I don't understand how she came to get the explanation after being zapped to go, oh, how thoughtful, you've decided to quit smoking. And I'm just like, what the hell? You've just been electrocuted. But at the same time, it's the whole mentality of this cult. It's a cult. They've kind of, because at the very end, he's handing out the business card for Quitters Inc., even though there's no, like, incentive to. He is just like, oh yeah, this place changed my life, to the next person. I'm just like, why would you do that? And it's just like, yeah, they're a cult. Oh boy. But yeah, moving on. Number 7. The Mangler. Shuffling down the street. I know the song I put to things. My goodness. Actually, I've just realised I put the other story together with that. So the Mangler. This one is a haunted machine and it is angry. It will catch you and drag you through its gears, but not in the Charlie Chaplin kind of way, in the lights out type of way, in the, like, if Saw, like this, like a Saw movie type of way instead. So yeah. And it's also like 30 foot, and if it broke free from its being bolted down to the floor, I still find the image of it shuffling down the street coming after people, just this 30-foot iron machine. I find that amusing. I mean, the story was still effective, but I still find the whole idea amusing. It's fine. Number 6. The Man Who Loved Flowers. This was brilliantly done and just like swung its twist at you like the guy swung the hammer. It was not expected. Brilliant. Oh, I think I was just too gobsmacked by that. It was a really good story. And yeah, we do just shuffle past news. The news is always bad. But we don't care. Our life is in good hands. Our life is still up. Anyways, number 5. Battleground. Oh my god. Stephen King can write action, and oh my god, he writes action well. So good. And it's toy soldiers. It's that movie Small Soldiers in a nutshell. They are trying to kill this one person who is he's a secret agent. He's just come back from an assignment, and somebody's given him a package of these toy soldiers, and they are set to kill him. And oh boy, that is such a good fight scene. They are an army in a box, and helicopters run after him. It's amazing. I had such a good time with that story. Anyway, I need to move on to number 4. The Ledge. Again, I seem to have grouped the genres together because it's the other action story. I want to read more of Stephen King's action because this is like crime, because this guy has basically started dating a mob boss's wife, and the mob boss is just like, you are going out that window and around the building ledge, and if you make it, I'll let you leave. That story was so good. It was so good. I want to read more of Stephen King's crime, action, just, yeah. Anyways. Okay, so 2 and 3. You can't separate these two because they are one story. They need to be put together. It's Jerusalem's Lot and One for the Road. Jerusalem's Lot was the opening story to the short story collection. It is brilliant. They are letters from a guy to a friend detailing his experience at this house and the town and this little faraway abandoned place called Jerusalem's Lot. And he goes, and there's all this satanic evil goings on. There's an inside out sheep at one point, or goat, just the guts. And oh, it's eerie, it's brilliant, and I love it. It was a brilliant start to the short story collection, and I love it. And then close to the end, we got One for the Road. Honestly, I think One for the Road should have been the end story because it would have just looped it back around the beginning brilliantly. And this is I would say present day because it is technically written in the 70s, and it would be present day for when it was written, kind of. And it's basically a town hit by a snowstorm, and people have basically crashed in the snowstorm, and the guy has gone for help. Unfortunately, the crashed car is in Jerusalem's Lot. Yeah, and it collects the whole thing together, and there's vampires that are so eerie and just ethereally floating, standing on the snow, not in the snow, leveling it, on top of the snow, and creepy. They are trance-like the moment you look eyes with them. Yeah, I know you're gonna die. Oh, yeah. As long as somebody throws a Bible at the vampire, you're good. So yeah, I cannot separate those two stories because they work so well together as well, just because Jerusalem's Lot is the origin, the lore, and One for the Road introduces the idea of Salem's Lot, and I am so excited for Salem's Lot, the full novel. I can't wait for it now. So I'm just like, yay. And I bet you can't read Salem's Lot without these two, because it's just like the lore and the backstory. Can't wait. It's gonna be so good. So, top of this list, we have the one that I, despite being ill, decided to draw on my hands. I Am the Doorway, Stephen King's sci-fi. I want more wackily weird sci-fi that is cosmically horror. I loved how this story just ended with this image in my head of this guy with his eyes on his hand, just like shot up in the air, and he's like going all crazy and he kills somebody. It just the lightning in this desert area is just, it was such a surreal image that King had put in my head, and I loved it. It is so weird. I love my sci-fi to be just like, you cannot understand what is happening because not all life is going to be humanoid, and it's so cool. But this story is about an astronaut who's come back not completely alone. Like, he's got eyes on his palm. He kind of had to figure out how to get rid of them. And then they start appearing on his chest. Oh, because he's not the one killing the people. They are. They are the beings observing through his hand. He knows their presence, and oh my god, it is terrifying. And I love it. That is how I like my sci-fi horror. Weird, crazy, and cosmically out of our hands. Or technically in the palm of, but yeah. So yeah, I really want to read more Stephen King sci-fi. I doubt he's got more sci-fi because I've heard he's really good at crime, which I do want to read more of, because Ledge and Battleground, brilliant. I want to read Salem's Lot because Jerusalem's Lot and One for the Road has just like cemented that in my head. But when vampires are like actual monsters that you should not be, kissing, oh yeah, I need more horror vampires. The kind you're supposed to fear, not the kind you're supposed to like yearn for. But anyways, I want to see if there is any more sci-fi for King, because I just loved how wackily cosmic it was. That's the term I'm going to use for it, wackily cosmic, because the image of just this guy waving his hands in the air with his palms with the eyes on it, and then the lightning striking, it's my kind of cup of tea, okay? It's my cup of tea. Anyways, but that was my ranking of Stephen King's Night Shift collection. I would be very interested to hear other people's takes on this. I've actually purposefully not watched other people's thoughts on this because I just wanted to go through it and then see how people have like reacted to this. And it's just like, ooh, can't wait to see everybody's reactions now. Oh, cause yeah, I started reading King, I think it was a few years ago, and I started with The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which is an interesting starting point, but not my favourite. Definitely recommend grabbing a short story collection, especially Night Shift, because it has everything, all of the genres. I definitely think this was been a brilliant intro to Stephen King. Even if it technically wasn't my intro, it's a nice starting point. It's a nice starting point. It's a nice stepping stone to dive into the rest of his work. And yeah, I have a few stories that kind of grew from some of these, so I will be seeking those out. Cannot wait. But yeah, on the shelf you go. So yeah, that was my rankings. Agree, disagree? Haven't read it? I highly recommend though. But yeah, before I sign out, I do have the next 3 short story collections for 2026. So yeah, I do have the next short story collections lined up for the following year. There's like 51 stories that I am looking forward to, authors I've not read that I'm looking forward to diving into, because short stories are the best way of doing it sometimes. Because sometimes it's a little intimidating to dive into some people's work. But I do have the collection I started in October. I'm going to continue on with that, as well as pick up 2 other short story collections by individual authors, instead of having a short story collection like the Book of Witches that has a lot of authors. So it'll be interesting to dive into some amazing authors' work. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next year's Short Story Saturdays. And yeah, Short Story Saturday will immediately pick up next week, I guess. Straight into the next lot of collections. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you next year for Short Story Saturdays. I mean, hopefully I'm going to have one more video before then, but you know. Bye, Shell.
And bye to all you other wonderful weirdos watching.